Moving on over here, we need to talk a little bit about Activision Blizzard. You guys already know what's going on. They're getting sued by the state of California for some major sexual harassment allegations. One of their employees committed suicide at a retreat because a bunch of her male coworkers were passing around some nude photos of her and whatnot. Not just that, 2-year investigation behind the scenes of them doing some real heinous anus, doing some real sick stuff, not just to the female colleagues or employees, but male colleagues as well. The male colleagues had a little game where you'd go around the office grabbing your coworkers by the giblets, the sack of balls, so to speak. You know, they're all athletes. They carry a sack of balls with them, basketballs, baseballs, etc. And you just grope them, get a quick squeeze, and be like, "Gotcha, bro," and go back to your cubicle. They'd also do these things called cube crawls, where they get absolutely plastered, flask it up, and no work's getting done. I mean, we've seen the games that have been released from Activision Blizzard. I know they've got some major titles. We'll talk about that in just a little bit here, but fucking situation has gotten worse and worse for Activision Blizzard to the point to where roughly 80 to 90% of their employees are boycotting them and simply will not work for them. And here's the thing, a lot of people are like, "Well, Kevin, they own all of the Call of Duty studios, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, Raven Software," correct, but they're all actually looking for a new parent company as we speak. For example, Vanguard over here, guess what? We just saw an official Vanguard trailer, which we'll watch together. Nowhere on there is there any Activision Blizzard branding right now. Interesting. It puts the sting in interesting. The plot thickens here. This article just came out yesterday. So still time-sensitive news here. They're actually shredding or destroying evidence. And they're also doing a lot worse stuff we're going to talk about. In addition to suing the massive game conglomerate over its culture of harassment and abuse towards female employees, I just covered it's also male employees, the Department of Fair Employment and Housing is also looking into its treatment of temporary workers. So we're talking about contractors, people that are not employees on payroll, but contractors, which, by the way, in case you guys don't know, in the game development realm, a lot of these people, graphic designers, coders, audio technicians, even, CGI wizards, and not the official term, but are contractors. They only need them for a small portion of the game development. So they hire them on for 3 to 6 months during a specific phase of the game's development. Okay, levels 3 through 16. We need 13 graphic designers. Bring them on a contract. And they got treated like shit too, and sexually harassed, groped. The updated lawsuit alleges that Activision Blizzard has not been cooperative with California's investigation. That is an understatement. We're going to get into a little bit more in a second here. It cites AB's non-disclosure agreements, the requirement that employees must speak with the company before contacting the State Department. That's a red flag right there, sweetheart. And the hiring of a union-busting law firm, WilmerHale, as examples of the company's lack of cooperation. Also, hiring a union-busting law firm is literally for them to silence their employees so they stop hemorrhaging information to the public. Activision Blizzard is also accused of having human resources personnel destroy documents pertinent to California's investigation, which is required by law to keep and make available for investigators. So that is another huge crime. And the evidence they're destroying is literally complaints like, hey, this executive grabbed me by the gooch and told me, if you want this raise, you got to give me a raise. Stuff like that. 2 years of complaints like that, and they're basically shredding all of that evidence, which is really, really unfortunate. Richard, unfortunately, I will explain that SBMM, which is actually ERMM, or Engagement Retention Matchmaking, is not going anywhere. Even after Bobby Kotick steps down from CEO, which I think is the next play for AB if they want to redeem their reputation and get back to making games. You're working for Blizzard, aren't you? Lucky, one anonymous tester told Kotaku. But the reality is that we're constantly dealing with difficult people in a culture that cares less for mental health and expects the same kind of smile all the time as retail does. This is not a retail establishment. You're not in the food industry. You don't need to smile to get tips or anything like that. You're working in an office where the only people you really see are your coworkers. You shouldn't need to keep things inside like that. Yeah, you got to suck it up when you're delivering somebody's food. You're a waiter, a waitress, a busboy. Yeah, you kind of got to dig deep, and your boss just slapped you on the rump. You can complain about that later. You got to get back out there on the floor. You're a salesman at Best Buy or at retail. Not so much in a game development studio, because that's an office setting where you're working with a controlled environment where you should be able to go to the top brass and complain. But all these complaints were literally deemed null and void. They would just throw them out. which is why California's been investigating them for 2 years now and documenting every time something like that happened, to the point to where they're fucked. Like, quite simply, like, for lack of a better word, they're fucked. There's so much evidence stacked against them right now. And then they mention right here, they are obscuring the fact that Activision Blizzard is involved in Vanguard's development. I do believe that is probably because the 4 Call of Duty studios are most likely looking for another parent company to host their game. When I say host their game, there's the development houses, which are, you know, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, Raven, and Treyarch. And then you have the production house, which handles all of the multiplayer updates, you know, patches, updates, any kind of multiplayer content like SBMM, stuff like that, keeping the game earning money after launch. So the Call of Duty store, stuff like that. That's kind of what Activision Blizzard does. And of course, handle the servers and everything. So whenever you're stuck in lobby trying to matchmake or something, that's Activision Blizzard. That has nothing to do with like the developers of the game. If you have a boring campaign or a shitty zombie mode or bad level design, that's when you can blame the game developers and be like, oh, damn you, Treyarch. But usually the stuff that we complain about as the Call of Duty fan gaming community would be Activision Blizzard. Somebody mentioned earlier, is this going to do away with SBMM? And that is going to be a resounding no, because like I mentioned, it's ERMM. Their profitability of the Call of Duty franchise has gone up 68% over the last few years, and that is due to not only selling more copies than ever, but also people spending more money in the store. So unless we all just band together and stop spending money on cosmetics in the store, which I kind of advise y'all do, I'm cheap as fuck. I'm not going to spend money on a skin. I can still titty slap noobs with 360 no scopes and a default stock skin. Not to mention, if you play enough, you actually unlock COD points or V-Bucks if you're playing Fortnite or whatever. If you play enough, you can actually unlock a lot of the cosmetics just by playing and not have to swipe your mom's credit card for V-Bucks and COD points or whatever. Just my opinion. All right, Stallions, I wanted to thank you guys for your continued support growing the gamer heaven. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We're gaining roughly around 2,000 to 3,000 per month, which is good, but I'd like to expedite that a little bit. So a little over 90% of the people that view my videos and like the videos are not subscribed. So please remedy that by going down there and turning that red subscribe button gray, and dropping a thumbs up or a like on the video does help to support the channel by getting the video seen by more people. So this information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me out, and I greatly appreciate that. You might be wondering what's going on with my hair. I can hear you asking through the camera. This is called, unfortunately, I have a full-time job, and then I also upload YouTube videos daily that I edit myself, and I also stream 3 days a week. But your continued support by viewing the videos or becoming a member of Gamer Heaven by hitting the join button below does make it a valid possibility that one day soon I will be able to quit my day job and just focus on what I'm passionate about, which is talking to you guys via a camera lens and a microphone. I'll see you tomorrow, because I upload content daily. Peace.